JavaScript form validation ensures user inputs are validated on the client side and optionally the server side to ensure data accuracy and completeness. Our code will validate form fields on submission, clears previous feedback, shows success or error messages, and animates errors. It will also reset the form after 3 seconds of submission success message. Let's start HTML by opening our localhost in Visual Studio Code. This should not be white considering we already have a background color set. Now that's better. I am kind of working on a landing page which has this background color, so that since I have to post other videos in between the completion of this landing page, I will be creating videos with this background color. So in this video, we're building a modern registration form with form validation using JavaScript. In HTML, inside the form, we have a title and subtitle for stating the obvious purposes. Oh, by the way, an important thing I might forget if I don't say it now, but please don't you guys forget to subscribe to my channel. It makes my mom smile to see new subscribers on my channel. I usually put autocomplete off in the input for these videos because it might display my email and such, but you guys don't have to do that if you don't want it. Anyways, each input field is styled with a cut effect for the space around the label that goes above with the animation. Below each input, we will have an error message div to display validation errors if the user enters incorrect data. This ensures that users get immediate feedback. We are going to have 3 input fields for user data: name, email, and password. Cut short is just going to change the width of the cut according to the label requirement. Do you guys know there is freedom in knowing no one is watching my videos and I can talk whatever gibberish I want and get away with it? If people hear my gibberish and point it out in the comments, it will be really embarrassing, but actually exciting, that people are now watching my videos. At the bottom, we will have a submit button to send the form data, and a for message for the message to congratulate on submission success. We will write all those error messages based on conditions for each input and success message in JavaScript when we get there. Now it's time to make it pretty with CSS. Let's break down the CSS styling for our registration form and put some makeup on it. First, we import Google Fonts to add some stylish typography. I will put this in the description. We use CSS variables for color customization. Here, hue and sat define our base colors, and we create lighter variations with hue 2 and sat 2. The body has a gradient background with a vibrant color scheme. Text is set to capitalize, and we use a serif font to give a sophisticated look. The body is set to have no margins or paddings, and overflow X is hidden to keep the layout clean. Time to code the rest of the content on our web page. This form container is a flex container that centers the form card both vertically and horizontally. The form card itself has padding, a box shadow for depth, and an animation to fade in and slide up. Make sure to give it a max width in a way to make it responsive, because this is not responsive. I decided my main goal today is going to be form validation with JavaScript, not responsiveness. Sorry about that. The fade-in animation makes the form card smoothly appear and move up from below the viewport. It basically seems pointless in my own opinion to put it here in this video, but I was bored and decided to play with the animation like a kid playing with its toys. See, I keep refreshing to see animation and being proud of it like I created some new technology myself. Anyways, back to coding. The form has a dark background color with rounded corners and 100% height and width along with padding. Things are starting to look good now, so let's do title and subtitle. The title and subtitle class styles ensure clear, stylish headings with white color. Each of these styles have their own margin top font size and font weight according to how important should focus on each of these must be. This class sets the height and width of the input container and ensures its child elements are positioned relative to it. This class adds a 40 pixel top margin to input containers, creating vertical spacing between form fields, while its part2 class adds a 45 pixel top margin to input containers, providing additional vertical space for better visual separation. The input class styles the input fields with a dark background, rounded corners, and light text, ensuring they are full width and comfortably padded. Finally, I realized that I should actually put the white color in body at this point, since I am using the same white color for text. I also just realized, while editing this, that the spelling of registration form is very interesting. I guess I will have to make it right later. Here we go with our decorative cut. The cut class creates a small decorative element above the input fields with a dark background and smooth transition effect when the input is focused or interacted with. The thing is, some labels are longer than others, like first name is way longer than email, which means they require more width. To make that happen, we created classes cut short and cut shorter for different widths, which should be named something professional, by the way, but I decided to be funny with my lame humorless joke for no reason. So now we have different widths for these decorative cuts. Now we will create a rule that moves the cut element 8 pixels downward when the associated input field is focused or when the input field is not showing its placeholder text. The fact it took so long to write this that my entire explanation for what I am writing right now is already over. Placeholder positions and styles the placeholder text to smoothly transition its position and color. If I don't forget like a grandma, I might show you guys a snippet of what I am working on by the end of the video. I am sorry I keep talking about it, but in my defense, that's all in my mind right now. I get this involved with my work even if it's boring and stupid, but I wonder how invested do you guys get in your work? Anyways, this part moves and scales the placeholder text upwards and to the side when the input is focused or has content. And now we change the placeholder text color when the input has content and the placeholder is not shown. Hashtag feeling satisfied with the animation and color except with the color of the input field. I guess I had to add that white color again for the input, but at least now it looks good. Now we change the placeholder text color when the input field is focused. Red is fine. It's also the same color in the demo, but I am loving this white color too much. We also have to not leave our error message alone and style it. This part styles the error message with opacity and position transitions for a smooth appearance effect. Notice that it has red color because red means trouble and trouble leads to errors. Also notice the opacity that is 0, but it will turn 1 when error message is active and it's supposed to show because you failed to achieve validation requirements. You have failed this city. I hope you guys understood that reference. Anyways, for message styles the message element with font size, weight, and smooth opacity transitions. I have a feeling we are going to be ending this CSS soon now and get to the real action of JavaScript. This success class is gonna be added to the form message if registration is successful with JavaScript. We also have an error class style here to be added if submission fail. And finally, we are styling the submit button with a background color, rounded corners, and a center text alignment. So far it looks good except for the entire form being not much responsive. Also, the button is not done, whose makeup is underway, but we are almost done, guys, so please don't fall asleep. One last thing before we go to JavaScript is we change the submit button's background color on hover and when active. Let me check if we are done with CSS or not, and then we go JavaScript. Alright, so first let's just correct the spelling of registration because it's irritating me. We are going to start by adding an event listener to the registration form that triggers a function when the form is submitted. Preventfo here basically prevents the default form submission behavior to allow custom validation. Is valid true initializes a flag to track whether the form is valid. Now we are taking all the input fields for validation by their ID. I feel like I should be very serious and professional with JavaScript, so I am only going to talk seriously without any gibberish. We are also going to take name error message, email error message, and password error message using their ID as well in order to display the error. Did I tell you guys to subscribe? If not, then do it. Also, this for message below the button is taken by its ID. Fun fact, it was supposed to be named form message, but my forgetful grandma self forgot them. I guess that can be considered a blooper. Now we want to clear the previous error messages to ensure a smooth user experience by keeping feedback relevant and up to date. So these name error, email error, and pass error text is getting cleared here using text content. We are also removing the active class to hide the previous error message for all of the fields. We are also going to kick out and clear the previous form submission message and make its opacity 0. This part checks if the name input is empty, displays an error message if it is, and marks the form as invalid. I have actually saved these error messages and submission success message in a text file to copy-paste from. So let's just do that. This expression pattern defines a regular expression pattern to validate the email format, which I am very slow in writing apparently. This part uses a regular expression to validate the email input, ensuring it matches a standard email format. If the email is invalid, it sets an error message indicating the format issue and marks the form as invalid by updating the error display and setting the isValid flag to false. Now this code will check if the password input has fewer than 6 characters. If it does, it displays an error message indicating that the password needs to be longer and activates the error message display by adding a class. Now we check if there were no validation errors. If the form is valid, a success message is displayed, and after 3 seconds, the form resets and hides the success message. If the form is not valid, no success message is shown. This part is actually the one that after 3 seconds resets the form, hides the success message, and removes any active error indications. After this part is done, we will see if our form validation code is working properly or not. I think I will shut up now and let you relax since you guys have been dealing with my chit-chat for a long time. Thanks for that, by the way. It's time to test out what we made, so let's go. This seems to be working, so if you guys have been dealing with my dead humor for 16 minutes straight, then